What's up, guys? Welcome back. Ghetto Rig, episode 58. We got an old friend of mine and Miguel's in the house. His name is Evan. We used to we used to work back with him back in the day doing retail. Yeah, we ran into him the other day at his new job, and we decided to have him on, man, because he's an interesting guy. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, how old are you?
Hello, everyone. First, I want to say thank you for having me here.
Appreciate you coming, brother.
This is my first podcast ever, so you guys.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking. Pop in your
cherry.
cherry.
My cherry. My mama virgin no more. But
Mom, I made it.
great granddad.
Yeah,
We there. We did it.
Smiling.
We did it, baby.
But no, it's cool. It's cool. You know, I've known Miguel and Eddie for quite some time at the old spot we used to work at. So I'm here to delve into any stories, any topic. Let's get to it, bro. I'm ready.
So tell us a little more, like relationship status. Did you go to school? Did you do any of that stuff? Like a little bit more about you as far as like just like the general stuff, like people when they hire you type of deal, but make it a little less higher type of deal. You know what I mean?
Let's see. What do you want? Do you want the professional Evan, or do you want just like the unkept
No,
style?
just introduce yourself.
I'll be
like
right
a
back.
friend,
I'll be
man.
right back.
So,
I gotta step away for a few seconds.
basically, like, first, how old are you? So the viewers that know at home can have a little bit of like a perspective on who they're speaking to. So,
All right, I would say I am 32 years old.
32 years old, and were you?
Are you single?
Okay, Miguel. All right. Are you single?
Miguelito, you know,
make
I'm single for you, bro.
for Miguelito. Okay.
No,
You got
yeah.
someone to take up Miggy now.
No relationship whatsoever. I'm focused on career. I'm focused on like winning with the day, winning with the team, winning with everything. So I'm focused on myself, really. So
I feel that.
there's nobody in my life at this moment.
Got you.
But Miguelito, you call me when you're ready, bro.
Oh, dude. I'm still looking for myself. It's not you, it's me.
It's okay. It's not the first time I've been turned down by a Hispanic, bro.
So, so were you like born and raised here in the Tampa Bay area, or like where you come from?
Nah, originally, bro. So my family is from Laos and Thailand. So I represent the Southeast Asian
Yes, sir.
region. So shout out to everyone out there, Sabaidi. But personally, I am from Hawaii.
Really, you were born in Hawaii?
I was born in Hawaii, emigrated here since I was 7 years old. I guess you could say I'm Florida born and raised, technically.
At this point, so you since 7 came to Tampa Bay, or you another part of Florida?
No, I was here. I lived directly here in St. Pete.
Oh, in St. Pete. Okay.
Mhm.
How far was of a drive for you to come to me? Like,
So I live in Clearwater now,
Oh,
so
okay.
probably about 25 minutes or so.
okay, not too bad. Not
You
too
were
bad.
speeding.
I was wondering actually how
You were speeding.
far you were
There's no
speeding.
fucking way you made it that fast. 25 minutes?
He did get here pretty quick. I'm gonna say. So what was that like in Hawaii growing up over there, man? Like, so you said you were there till 7, so I'm assuming you got a decent amount of memory still from over there, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I still remember. A lot. To be honest with you, a lot of people they have this misconception, right? Because this is only what the media is going to show about Hawaii. They're only going to show the beautiful beaches, the islanders. You're going to see this and that, but there's ghettos, bro. And I came from the ghettos of Hawaii. Houses were broken down. It didn't look super pretty from where I was. Lived out of the town of Waianae, but over time, and my parents, they were just farmers, so all they did was just grew crops, sold at a flea market, and that was it. But it wasn't sustainable for a family of 4 at the time, so they had to move over here.
so
Kinda sustainable.
catch Jay up real quick. He was born and raised in Hawaii till he was 7 years old, and then he came over here to St. Petersburg and Clearwater.
When you're in Hawaii, a lot of people don't realize like how expensive is Hawaii, because a lot of times people don't think about Hawaii and Alaska being expensive. I'm guessing it's because of like getting products there is pretty difficult, right?
This facts, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. And so as far as like your background goes, like your parents, grandparents, even further down, how did that all happen? How did they land in Hawaii?
So from what I know, my mother, she was to be married, right? Because in Asian culture, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we got the goats, we got this and that. We're
Yeah.
gonna marry you off, and she was supposed to marry some other guy.
The dowry part and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Wait, so they have arranged marriages over there?
Yeah, bro.
they do, bro.
I didn't fucking know that. I thought that was
Well,
in
it's
the,
not- it's not in
I thought
Hawaii.
I thought that was in like no, it's not. But I thought that was in like those Russian countries.
Nah, bro.
He's talking about mail order
Turkestan
stuff.
and
Bro.
Kazakhstan.
No, arranged marriages have been going on for ages. Like, even in the United States, you used to have arranged marriages. Like, the whole idea of, like, because back in the day, women could not own land, and for her to own land, she had to be freaking married.
That was a while ago, though.
Huh?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, correct. Because United States, you got to remember, United States always been sort of like on a forefront. Because we're the wild, wild west, right? Like, we're shooting everybody and telling them to F off when we didn't like something, right? So we're always like been pushing the norm,
so
right?
you said you're Thai in Laos. Was your mother Thai or was she from Laos?
So my mother is Thai, but growing up in the household that we were, we spoke Laotian. And if no one's not familiar with Laos, because I get that question all the time, right? Oh, hey Evan, where are you from? Well, I'm from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But where are you from? Oh, you're talking about my ancestry or my.
I'm from Hawaii, motherfucker.
So I'll be like, okay, so my father's Laos, and they're like, first question that hit me was like, Laos, where's that? Oh, okay, so let me break it down for you. You know where the country of Vietnam and Thailand, Laos is smack dab in the middle, and that's what I'll tell them. And they're like, okay, so they don't get interested in that unless they watch King of the Hill. You know, that show from the 90s or something like that, and they're like, oh yeah, Laos, and they start making all these jokes, and I'm like, I got some dark humor, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, I don't feel like that's the right
I actually
portrayal.
knew where Laos was just because I had friends growing up from there that were like part Laos and then part Vietnamese.
So as a matter of fact, when Trump took office, he pretty much
Are you talking about the Leo Club? And sorry to cut you off there, Jay.
No.
Because I felt like that was Leo.
No. This friend of mine when I was growing up, like since like kindergarten, this girl I knew, she was from there.
Yeah, I seem to I used to hang out a lot with Asians.
Yeah, that was your clique.
Heck yeah, dude. They were cool as fuck. They play League of Legends.
LOL, bro. LOL for the win.
So what I was saying is when Trump took office, one of the first things he disassembled was the TPP, and TPP was going to include all of the Pacific islands, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Indonesia, and a bunch of those islands into a trade agreement where China was becoming too expensive.
TPP was
Trans-Pacific Pact. Mm-hmm. And China was becoming too expensive as far as hourly
I remember
wages.
we started talking about this, yeah.
Yeah, and that he basically undid that. And there's still a little bit of untapped market left there. I think although they're talking about right now India. India is the biggest
that's exactly
untapped
what you
market.
said.
India,
And this was a few months ago, I think we talked about this, right?
and they're predicting that India's population is going to, within the next 10 to 20 years, going to outgrow everyone, and they're going to become one of the largest economies in the world. Now, anything else besides all that is African continent, but it's too unstable. Like, you have Rwanda, Botswana, all of those countries, they're not doing well. Like there's always like ethnic cleansings and things like that, right? Like a bunch of people just killing each other.
You guys, like you said, born and raised in Hawaii till 7. How did your parents get to Hawaii? Like, what was that like? So you said that your mother was from Thailand, but then your father was, I'm guessing Laos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Laotian.
how did they get together and end up in Hawaii, or
So it was prior to them emigrating to the States.
So you're first gen.
I'm first gen Asian American, so I'll put it that way. Yeah. First one of my family to be born on, the United States grounds, per se. But yeah, so originally the way it was supposed to be was she was supposed to marry to some dude's family. She didn't want to do that. She met my father. She says, I want to be with that guy. And then the rest is history. Next thing you know, they got on a plane, not a boat, on a plane.
Wow, that's messed up.
I think I felt a little bit
Are
shade.
you trying to tell me
to
something
the Caribbean.
here?
No, bro. Like you got to think about it. How close in proximity Hawaii is to Pacific Islands, right? Like so that it's like all right. Well,
that
you
might
can
have
do
been
the boat
probable,
too. You know what I mean? But majority of the immigration is through the planes. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's not through land or the fucking boats. It's through planes.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all got over there
Yeah.
by plane, not by boat.
Got over there on a plane. Lived there for about 7 years until finally times were getting too hard. Money wasn't coming in the way it was because it's a tourist state, bro. That's how the money is ran there. So if you're not working in tourism and you're just doing crops and stuff like that, you gotta bounce out. So
and Monsanto probably killing the business too on side. So
perhaps.
Yeah. And then you guys, and why Florida? Because it was pretty much like climate and beaches and stuff like that was pretty close.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but today's title is "It's Too Hot in Florida."
Oh, you guys think it's hot now? It's projected to get even hotter.
Yeah,
to
August
the
is
18th.
coming, baby. August is coming.
No, just like there's a heat bubble in weather projections over the west that stretches all the way across to like southern like border states of Florida and Florida. So it's about to get really fucking
Great.
hot.
What's up, bro?
Well, at least there are pools. That's always a way.
This is my brother-in-law, Arthur.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Poppy.
Hey, look, Mickey, it matches your fit.
I'm rocking this.
All right, so
I just
then
got
they
this
came
hat.
in
I'm
and then they
rocking
married.
this to the
So
club.
as far as
to the club.
as far as Thailand, because just with everything else, like people are super like nationalist when it comes to their own country.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have Peruvians and Chileans that are always fighting who's got better food and things like that. Do you have that per se, the competition between Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand, or not so much?
Are they kind of like, my thing of this is the best, or?
In a way, so I can't speak for all of Thailand, right? I mean, I can only speak with what I know and what I observe. But I would put it this way: they're very, very proud of their food, right? If you're going to Southeast Asia, it's a very, very huge food mecca. But and the cultures are very similar: Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand.
And everyone eats
Myanmar.
spicy food. Like I'm talking
bro.
about spicy, your ass on fire spicy. You know what I mean?
Evan,
That's
question for you: did you learn the language?
I learned Laotian language. Yes. Can I understand Thai? If I met a Thai person and they start talking in front of me or talk to me, I can understand what they're saying, but I cannot relay it back. But if I met a Lao person, 100% all day, let's go. Sabadi,
Did you learn
cowboy,
any?
things of that nature.
Did you learn any Hawaiian?
I know a few Hawaiian words, and it's not
Can
just
you
the
do
bad
the
ones.
haka? What is it called?
We need a
I cannot,
demonstration of that.
unfortunately, no. That's more of Samoan culture, though. But,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I did get to see that in person. I thought that was pretty dope, but I was too young at the time.
That's cool. And then you guys came to Florida, and then it's been history since then.
Pretty much, man. Pretty
All
much.
right.
You
Cool.
guys have more family here in Florida, or it's just like you and your immediate family, or?
So I would say I have mostly my immediate family here. They immigrated over to Florida because my aunt lived here, and
Okay.
with her husband, who is my dad's cousin. So therefore, I'm related to them that way by blood. But I got family scattered in Dallas. So shout out to Dallas, Fort Worth area. I got family in Fresno. I have
Cali.
a few family. Yep, a few family that's going to be in North Carolina as well too. So they're scattered throughout the place, but my most immediate family's down here in the Tampa Bay area.
That's awesome. Now, if you were to pick, now I know I'm gonna throw a stone here. If you were
Right.
to pick, I know you're from a different dad's side, different mom's side, different. Who do you think has the better food? You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be tough to pick. Who do you think has better food?
So I'll put it this way. How bad can I get here?
All the way.
All the way.
So
Anything you want.
So
yeah.
we're working with the unfiltered channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope your
This is
parents
not
aren't
for
watching.
children.
Yeah,
not for children.
Not for
Yeah,
children.
Let
so-
it all out.
All right,
Yeah.
let's run it. So I'll put it this way. If you want to have Thai food, right? Thai food is great. I love Thai food.
It's hot. It's very popular
Um,
right now.
But if you meet someone who's not from Thailand, the only thing because I get this a lot. Oh my God, you're Thai? I'm like, yes, I am. Oh my God, I love pad Thai. And I'm like, cool. In my head, basic.
I was gonna ask you, is that what you do to get white girls? Like, let's get some Thai food.
Bro.
No,
That's-
don't get me wrong. Pad Thai is delicious. I
It
get it,
is.
but there's Penang curries are absolutely on another level. There's so much food. Sorry.
No,
Go.
you're
Sorry.
good. No, that's exactly, Jay. That's the thing is there's so much out there, but people are kind of just stuck on that one thing.
Pad Thai.
If you're asking what I prefer to eat, right? If I had the choice between Thai food and Lao food, I'm going Lao food all day. There is
I thought he was about to say neither. Chicken nuggets, baby, all the way till I die.
I mean,
till I die.
Chick-fil-A.
I would say this Hispanic food is probably my favorite too.
No shit.
Yo,
no mames.
So where we used to work,
That ass, my guy.
there was a taco place nearby, and I remember when I'd go every once in a while, he would ask me to get tacos with of the cow tongue. Lengua.
Yes, lengua. Yes.
Lengua. And I was
Yes.
always like, yo, you like that? He's like, yes, I love that.
Bro, you gotta understand, like, he's coming from a culture that you ate everything, like all the organs and everything. So what would happen, like, when I say this, like, you know, you hear this on people talking about it, you don't realize it until you actually, like, experience that. So me growing up from a country where meat is a scarce commodity, right? And not a lot of times you can get the good cuts of meat. So you were getting the organ meat and like the tongue, the stomach, all of that stuff, and you ate it like feet,
Yeah.
cow feet, pig's feet. Like I've eaten that shit as a little kid. You know what I mean? To this day, you know, like that's considered like a delicacy, even though it's like the cheapest cuts of meat, right? We eat that shit, bro. Like lengua, I love tacos with lengua. Why? Because I love lengua. The reason I love lengua is because I'm used to like they would cook the entire tongue. It's like you know how you get a piece of ham and then you cut it up. They would cook and preserve the entire
tongue
tongue and
the
then you
same
just
way.
cut it up and make a sandwich out of that. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like to
I
me,
get
like
it.
I get it.
I get it. It's in those kind of cultures, you know, they're used to, like you said, using every single part. of the meat.
Everything,
Like
bro.
your brother, when we were in DR just now, I was in Dominican Republic back home,
Right.
and your brother, they did a whole entire pig
Pig?
roast, and your brother was there waiting for the brain,
Yeah.
and like he ate half the brain, and I was like, bro, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever.
Yeah, I've eaten pig brain since I was little with some eggs in the morning for breakfast, bro.
You know,
It's
I would
not-
say this true
It's
story,
very
bro.
creamy, bro. It's like it's creamy.
There's,
as hell.
there's a lot of nutrients in those things that Americans don't normally eat when it comes to meat, bro. Like there's a lot of nutrients in cow tongue and stuff for that. I had Hispanic food just a couple days ago when I was leaving work, and they had lengua on the menu. I was like, let me get that, bro.
Yeah.
100%. Anytime I see lengua on there, let's go, let's
Yeah,
run it.
yeah.
And by the way, shout out to your cousin Natalie, Emily, Bob the Builder, Arthur. Thanks guys for showing up. Eddie Asensio.
Arthur also had a question as well for Evan. He said, "What's
Best
the
Thai
best
food
Thai
in
food
the
in the area? And can you go with me to show what to eat? I pay."
So best Thai food in the area? I don't know, bro. It's all I'll be real with you. It's all the same to me. It's very watered down, catered to the American culture.
The American palate.
Yeah. But if you really want something authentic, you know, if you go to a Thai restaurant, and I would say if you don't want to do the noodles, which is the pad Thai, or most of the times it is gonna be pad Thai that they're gonna offer you, do the curry, do the Penang. The Penang Kai, bro. The Penang Kai is safe to go. That's Penang chicken. So run that, and then if you really want like also go medium spicy with some white rice.
No, he's right because I was in New Jersey, but all of was it New Jersey or Hartford, Connecticut? I don't remember. It was either Connecticut or New Jersey. And over there, when I went to the restaurant, and I like spicy food, you know that, and I told him, listen, I like spicy, make it Thai hot. And he's like, are you sure you want Thai hot?
He said Thai hot. Yep.
I was like, yeah, well, that's what I eat all the time, Thai hot. He goes, how about I make it medium, and then I'll give you spice on the side, and you add that on top if it's not hot enough. I was like, whatever, bro. I got this. He brings the medium Thai
You didn't
food.
even touch
Bro,
you didn't even touch
bro,
the
I was
side, huh?
sweating bullets, man.
Talking about
And here I can chum down Thai hot, no problem.
what
you
do you
know what
guys
I mean?
think about E-tag?
E-tag.
It's
Elaborate.
It's so E-tag is a Philippine dish. I think it's like a ceremonial thing. It's only done for special occasions like birthday parties, graduations.
What is it though?
It is worms
Huh?
in pork, and then it's like boiled, and
Oh, no.
then yeah, it's some crazy stuff.
There's-
See, I love pork. But if you're telling me worms, like insects, no, I'm good. I can eat insects of the sea, but not of the land.
There's
Like, I love lobster, shrimp, and all that shit. But like you're talking about shit that crawls on land, no, I'm good.
There's a very popular dish with pork from what'd you just say?
Philippines.
Philippines. It's got a almost like a funny name. If you Google it, like one of the most popular pork dishes, it'll come up.
Is it siksik?
Sigsig. That's it. Sigsig. So I was where the hell was I?
What is six?
DC area. I think in Maryland. I was in Maryland and I was staying in a hotel, and this girl that was working there, she was Filipino, and she's like, "Hey, do you have any Filipino places?" She's like, "Oh yes, there's these cool places. You know, by the way, when you're there, could you bring back some sigsig for me?" I was like, "Sure, I could do that." I'm bringing the sigsig back, right? Like, of course I tried it. It was pretty good. I'm bringing it back to her for dinner, right? And she's like, "Oh, do you want me to pay you for it?" I'm like, "Bitch, what you think?"
Duh.
Like, duh. You know what I mean? Yeah, pay me. And then I was like, all right, just give me $5 for it. You know what I mean? Like, even though it was like $7 or whatever, I was like, give me $5. What you expect me to just buy you food randomly for what? You know what I mean?
You
Yeah,
said
my
there's someone
girl.
from work, right?
Huh?
You
No,
said
it was a chick at the hotel, like the reception desk. The receptionist asked me to
Oh.
bring that. Yeah, so but it was pretty good. Sik is pretty decent, but yeah, I agree with him. Like the Thai food that we have here,
watered down.
very watered down, or like even the duck that they make is super like, it's not good. Usually the duck is like a couple of days old, so you get that because they're reheated, and what happens when food becomes cold, it produces these enzymes. The fat produces these enzymes that makes the meat not taste good. But if the duck is fresh, bro, it's all another level.
It's like one of those things. Reminds me when you're
I've had
saying
that
that
in New Jersey. Yeah.
pork. You know when you make pork
Yes.
and you leave it in the fridge for maybe even a day or two, and then you go to reheat it the next day, it gets this weird taste to it.
Yes, and I found the workaround that when you throw it in an air fryer for 3 to 5 minutes, you don't have that flavor.
No,
It just gets rid of that
maybe
flavor.
it's something about the microwave. Then.
Something about the microwave, but the duck for sure. I've had it in New Jersey. Like it's like a day and night comparison to here or in Tampa area. Whatever Thai food I've had, it's good, but it's nowhere near that. Like you can get even closer to authentic, like in New Jersey, like up north, when you have a bigger concentration of Asian population, that more immigrants are coming in. They're looking for
We
more
actually had
authentic.
pho is Vietnamese, right?
Yeah, pho. I think you can get
We
pretty
had some
decent
this weekend.
Vietnamese food here.
Emily had pho. I had vermicelli.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pho. There's something. I know there's some kind of herb or some
There's 5 of
specific.
them, or like 6
No,
of them.
specific. There's a specific ingredient in there that I don't really fuck with. It gives it a specific essence to the whole like broth and everything.
Anise,
Yes,
five-star anise.
star anise. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
Chinese herb.
Yes,
Chinese
it's
herb.
the anise. Yes. I don't really like it. I don't. It's something that I can enjoy the food, but I'd much prefer like vermicelli or something like that, just because of that. Essence.
I'll fight anyone, bro. That's the best hangover cure ever.
Oh, star
The
anise.
best No. The pho.
Oh, pho.
Pho itself, the best hangover cure ever.
A lot of
I-
hydration, a lot of nutrients.
Yes, a lot of. Well, yes, fats and salts, specifically salts.
Yeah, the sodium in there is gonna help you retain that water you're intaking.
Well, not only that, it's just like when you get drunk because you go to pee a lot, so you get like there's a lot of osmosis going on. You're getting rid of a lot of salts. That's why you start to get those headaches and produces this enzyme. So whatever it's in that soup, like counteracts all that,
Yeah.
and it makes your life so much better. You know what I mean? So I really like it.
Sopita para hangover.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. It's like sancocho. I like sancocho, but sancocho can sit very heavy. That's the only thing that I don't like about sancocho, because after like 4 or
Because
5
the
hours,
broth-
it's still heavy.
The broth is very heavy.
Yes.
It's thick. Like for example, sancocho is basically like this thing that Dominicans make. It's like a big ass fucking like stew
Pot, yeah.
broth kind of thing that they put. Almost everything that grows in the Dominican Republic gets put in that pot. So they put
grows and
they put
walks
chicken.
on
Yeah,
4
it grows
feet.
and walks, right? So chicken, pork, and beef.
Okay.
And then they'll put plantains, yuca, corn,
Red
and then
potatoes sometimes.
yeah, sometimes
Oh,
do
purple potatoes.
the batata, which is like a sweet potato, and then not the American like red sweet potato. We call our sweet potato, which is what he said,
Purple
batata.
potato,
Yeah, like the purple potato,
Okay.
and it's just this amazing like soup that they make, and then you eat it on top of rice. Yeah, that
it's
stuff
super
is a lot
hangover-
heavier. Like,
yeah.
for example, you put it in the fridge, and the next day when you go to heat it up, you
need a
almost can
fork.
you can.
It's like gelatinous, right?
Yeah.
It not necessarily gelatinous.
No?
All
It just
the
gets
starch
thick.
out of the yuca.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly what it
plantains, All
is.
the starch
Gotcha.
makes it super thick.
So
Exactly.
very, very high in carbohydrates.
Yes, super high.
Super high.
It's just as good at curing hangover. The problem with that, you eat a bowl of that, and then you're still like full for like next 6, 7, 8 hours.
It's
versus
heavy on. It falls heavy on your
versus
stomach.
Vietnamese pho.
It's like I
3
said, you
hours
put it
and you're
in the
good to
fridge,
go.
and the next day you go to heat it up. And sometimes my mom, if she's making a large amount, she goes to heat up a large amount. She'll put it on the stove right to boil it, and she'll add a little bit of water just to like because of how thick it gets
Yeah,
from being like
just
from
thin it
sitting in the
out.
fridge. It's
All right.
amazing though. It's
All right,
one of the
guys.
best.
So I got a couple of things that are happening. Has you guys ever heard of Sounds of Freedom?
No.
The movie.
I heard about it because Patrick, David, Dana White, they're all promoting it a lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Sounds of Freedom. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. I did a little bit of a deep diving into this. So, there's a lot of misconception about this movie. A lot of people were saying that Mel Gibson was going to produce Mel Gibson. Yeah, was going to produce this movie.
Like Mad Max, Mel Gibson, right? You know what you're talking about?
Yeah, although that is not true. So what actually happened was Mel Gibson found out that this guy is going to produce a movie about child trafficking, right? And he pretty much said, "Hey, listen, if you're producing this movie, whatever children that you're, because this is based on true stories, right? On a true story." And the guy that's producing the movie, he's basically dedicated his life to battling child trafficking, right? And he said, if you're going to do this movie, I support this idea, and whatever kids you rescue, I want them to be under my protection. People picked that shit up and they said, oh, Mel Gibson is producing this movie. He's not producing this movie.
Yeah.
So Disney owned the rights to this movie 5 years ago. And then something happened in there where they sold it to another company, but they never released this movie, right? Until now, when the guy's like, well, the hell with you guys, you're not releasing this movie. I'm going to go as an independent and release this movie as an independent. So basically, this movie, like, it's very hard to say whether it's, like, you know, it's anecdotal, true story, or there's actually true story. Because there are parts in this movie that they're shown actual footage of children being stolen and thrown into cars and whatever for trafficking, right? So it's about children trafficking. Now, the problem here is a lot of the media came out and, you know, CNN was bashing this movie and things like that, where CNN's CEO got caught with a lot of child porn on his computer, so he basically got, you know, put to jail for that. So they're saying that, okay, well, what they're portraying is like, take this movie, you're putting the movie out, and now the average viewer by default is like, well, I'm going to give them money because this is one way I can help. And the guy's saying, well, the money goes to the producer, right? So they're basically bashing this movie by saying it's a QAnon movie. Well, the guy is very known for being parts of QAnon, and I think Alex can explain what QAnon is a little bit
I was
better.
trying to ask what the fuck that
Yeah.
is.
Alex, you want to chime in on that?
It's a deep right troll that started on Twitter, or it started on 4chan, to be fair, in like Reddit.
Okay.
It was like, basically, I'm gonna go as far right as I can, and we're gonna troll about it. And then it caught wave, and then it got followers, and then it became a movement that like these MAGA people love.
So a lot of the part of
It's
the,
a smaller faction of the MAGA group.
and part of that
Okay.
is a lot of conspiracy theories. So basically, what these left channels and middle channels were saying is like, well, they're promoting this QAnon thing because the guy's pretty big into the QAnon, right? So they're promoting this, and basically it's conspiracy theories for all the boomers and Gen X to talk about and things like that, right? However, what was happening at the same time, there was another movie that came out, and the name of that movie was Cuties, and it was produced in France. Again, an independent film that was picked up by Netflix, and Netflix aired this movie, right? So the Cuties movie is about these
We talked about this.
African French children that are like picking up on a social media, the dances and things like that.
Remember, the Sneeko had something to do with that.
Correct. Sneeko had a thing about this, yeah. So they're doing all these dances in front of the camera, very provocative, and put them out on internet, where articles read like it's a very misunderstood movie and being bashed and this and that and that. Like they're so both are talking about children's issues, you know what I mean? However, one gets promoted and the other one doesn't get promoted, right? Like, so the point here is that Disney sat on this, that never produced it. I don't know why. You know, maybe it was going against their policy, or the lawyer said, hey, listen, there's
Sounds like
too much
a hard
conspiracy
thing to put out there without getting bashed by someone.
Yeah, so the point is that Mel Gibson wasn't part of this, because a lot of people think he's part of it, but he had nothing to do with production of this movie. And the movie came out, and apparently it's been getting a lot of traction, like a lot of traction. And the whole movie was about this conspiracy of elites in child trafficking for
so like
their
the whole organized crime aspect of it.
basically
and everything.
pedos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to put light on this, right? So I don't know what y'all guys think as far as that goes. do you think
It's kinda
it's
sounds
warranted, not warranted? You know,
It kind of sounds like what I just said is true, right? Like you start this in production, and it's just gonna find some way to bash it, right? Like, and anybody starts to talk on it, they're gonna make something of it. You know what I mean? Regardless of what's said, I feel like unless it's a freaking AI making like the perfect script about this specific scenario regarding our societal norms. You know what I mean? Like you just start talking about this stuff, and very easily whatever you said could be taken out of context and made it into a much bigger thing. So, like you said, right? Like Mel Gibson just came out and said stuff about it, and then was told it was put into light that he's going to be the producer of the movie. Which
but
was never
also
the thing,
remember, Mel Gibson pretty much got canceled, right? Like, oh sorry, he pretty much lost everything. There was a controversy with him. He
What
said
happened with
something
Mel
or did
Gibson?
something, and he got canceled.
He
pretty
said
much.
anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah,
Right? Oh,
yeah, he said anti-Semitic
And
shit.
this is like
and-
after
went-
Passion of the Christ, right?
he
Like,
went-
after he produced that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to the deep end, huh?
Mhm. Well, see, here's the issue. Here's the issue. A lot of people misconstrued because you gotta think about this. When somebody says I'm Jewish, right? Jewish culture is the only culture. It doesn't matter whether you're from Israel, United States, or whatever. When you say you're Jewish, it just means one thing: you're Jewish, right? Because you with the same token you say Muslim, okay, well you're Muslim, fine, but where do you live, right? Like Iraq, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, because they're Muslims in different places. But when you say Jewish, it's more of becomes almost an ethnicity. The religion becomes ethnicity versus
yeah.
you know what I mean. So
And they were. I was hearing Joe Rogan talk about this with Tom Segura about their friend Ari Shafir.
Mhm.
That he almost it's like he more identifies it as his ethnicity and not his religion whatsoever.
correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. Even like the Hasidic Jews, like very Orthodox Jews, even if because in Jewish community, like what's that word that I'm looking for? That you don't believe in religion or atheism is the largest growing movement. Even the Hasidic Jews believe that you're still Jewish. Make sense?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Whether
saying.
you believe in
They're
you
using
believe in
it to-
Judaism or not, you know.
They're
what I mean?
using it to more identify their ethnicity than they are their religion.
And it's one of the only cultures or one of the only religions that
identifying as their culture, right?
yeah, cultures, not necessarily culture, because I don't want to use the culture because there's a lot of people that do not believe the very conservative Jewish religion, right? So I don't want to say it's a culture, but the conservative, the very right wing of Jewish religion does not believe that any other religions are valid or are, so you can basically marry into a Jewish family or convert, right? Like even within the 7 years of your conversion into Jewish religion, that doesn't work, right? Like they consider everyone else as like demons that have look like humans, and they're just coming in here.
It's a
So
real far
you have to be
extreme end
yeah.
of
So
being a Jew.
and the interesting part is you have to be born into religion, but only through your mother's side.
Really?
So if your mother
But your
is-
mother can't sing praises on Sunday because that's also against God's rule.
yes. So the only way you can say that you're Jewish is only because your mother is Jewish. Why? Think about it. Think about why.
Sounds like a very
I'm
exclusive
gonna
club.
Because as a
I'm gonna
dude-
throw a wild guess, and it's because your mom got fucked.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, because you were born from that woman. So there's no doubt about it that you were born from a Jewish woman. But there's always a doubt whether you're born
You
to a
won't know.
Jewish father.
Exactly. Like back in the day, you wouldn't know. There's no way you could
wouldn't
100% know
Exactly.
that came from that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there could be that conspiracy that she fucked some other dude and that's the baby of another man. You
So
know what I mean?
why I was talking about all this? The issue is this: a lot of people there are a lot. So anybody want to take a guess? What is the percentage of Jewish community in United States?
So percent of Americans that are Jewish, basically.
I'm gonna go 14.
2%.
I was gonna go for
Way too
4%.
high.
2%.
I was gonna go for 4. Yeah.
Yeah, 2%. So, in a lot of the higher positions within whether it's government or companies, there are a lot of people with Jewish last names that are part of the Jewish culture that are occupying these, not occupying, but have these positions, right? So a lot of times what happens, a lot of people will come in and say, well, Jewish people are doing this. Jewish people are doing this. All of the Jewish people are Zionists. This and that. Does anybody know what Zionist? Basically for the state of Israel, right? Like they're doing everything for the betterment of state of Israel, regardless where they're from, and it doesn't matter if they're going to undermine their own country. They want to help Israel, and that's the end goal, right? So a lot of people get classified under this Zionist culture that's trying to only help Israel, right? And this is what happens when you get Mel Gibson and Kanye West and coming out and saying anti-Semitic shit towards the large populace, and not saying, well, we're not talking about the large populace, because just as any culture, you're going to have your bad apples, right? Like, they're not saying I'm talking about these bad apples that are within this culture. I'm talking about the entire culture, right? And this is what happens, and this is how you get canceled. I don't know, Alex, you want to chime in on this?
So we.
I don't know where you're going with this, bro. So,
So
we started with a Barbie.
this came out with Mel Gibson. This came out with Mel Gibson. You know what I mean?
I
And-
mean, I don't
and him
know.
being
I don't
canceled.
know.
We started with a movie,
Like-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Miguel said what we're talking about now.
We started with a movie.
So
Yes.
he started off with a movie that was about these.
All right, I see what you
child
said. Let me
being-
It was
land it.
about
Let me
Sounds of
land it. Let
Freedom,
me land it.
and
Where's
then
the where's
we got
the
into
plane
Sounds of
noises?
Freedom, and then Mel Gibson. By the way, I'm taking notes. I'm improving the podcast. you know?
Okay.
So the reason Mel Gibson got canceled is because he said a bunch of anti-Semitic
Yeah.
stuff. And now a lot of these people, because of the Epstein being locked up and he having his island and things like that, they're saying that he was connected to other bunch of other Jewish descent or Jewish people that are in high positions that are practicing this. Thus, he was pretty much pouring shit on all of Jewish people. And that's
Okay.
why he got canceled. And this is
So when
this
he
is
was
the landing of
that's,
the plane.
that's where he was. Okay, that's where
yeah,
he
yeah.
was.
So
talking
that's
shit,
that
right?
was
'Cause
the
we
that
asked
was
him
the
how he
whole
got
thing.
canceled.
Yeah,
We're on the
that's what-
runway now, right?
We're on the runway.
We've landed.
But anyway, so what y'all guys think about the whole child trafficking? Obviously, it's happening. Like, you cannot deny it that it's happening. But what do you think? Do you think it's at that extent, or
like I said, that seems like a very hard issue to go and try and make an entertainment movie about. It seems like they need to educate in a better manner than trying to like
I also
put
think-
on these false stories.
I also think that Disney.
Or I don't know
It
if the
doesn't.
stories are putting
Disney
on a
does
false
not
one,
have
but
the
in
requirement.
an entertaining manner.
Disney does not have the requirement to fulfill this movie or
Oh,
publish
obligation,
it.
exactly.
An obligation, correct? Because it doesn't. It's not part of their audience. It's not part of their target audience. So why would they do that? It's just
Correct.
shooting. That's just giving out free money for no reason.
so? Yeah, so basically, the left is pretty much saying that this is all conspiracy theories. It's all BS, and the right is saying, why aren't you putting it out there? Because children are suffering, right? And I think the truth is somewhere in the middle.
It always
this
is. It always is, you know?
Yeah, so is there child trafficking? Yes, that's happening. Obviously, like, it would be fool to say it's not happening. But at the same time, I don't think it's at the extent that the right is saying that it's happening. But it's not completely BS conspiracy theories as the way the left is saying, right? And people are divided into two camps, although they all agree on one thing, that child trafficking does happen. You know what I mean?
The Barbie movie also came out.
Hey, shout out to Margot Robbie.
With the Oppenheimer double
So-
feature.
I
And
wanna-
AMC's selling out those tickets.
Really, they do like a double feature with Oppenheimer. That's a movie I really want to go watch. Apparently, there's zero CGI in the whole movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's something I can watch.
It's interesting.
Anyway,
You know
all
what
right,
it's
guys.
you know what it's about, Oppenheimer?
No.
You ever heard? So it's about the Manhattan Project, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like
Yeah,
them
they're
building-
making nuclear bombs.
They're
yeah.
making the nuclear bombs for the bombings in Japan back in World War II. It's got a
Oh, you talking about Pearl Harbor?
No.
the nukes.
The
No,
atomic bomb.
like
Hiroshima.
The one that
Hiroshima,
ended
Yeah,
Nagasaki.
Nagasaki.
Yeah,
Mhm.
atomic. Yeah.
Well, didn't Hiroshima and Nagasaki happen after Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
It's the
response.
result of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
Wait. So they're saying that they were gonna bomb no matter what? I thought that was a
were-
retaliation to Hiroshima to Pearl
Bro.
Harbor.
the Manhattan Project was a thing kept under the low that was being made since the start of this. Since they basically were like,
Yeah.
we found this out and we're gonna make a project like about the whole atom bomb and just have this. They were ready. Like, this was something that
And
was
with
made
the
for
adoption
the.
of Albert Einstein to the U.S. from the war, like
Wait,
he
wait,
really
wait.
boosted.
So the bombings were basically, yes, in a sense, response, like you said, but at the same time, the Americans knew the Japanese mentality: no surrender. Like they knew that. They knew that,
There
and so
was-
that's why they
there
were
was
like,
even a
all right,
Japanese-
let's put them to the point where they have to go on their knees or they'll be gone.
There was even a Japanese soldier that didn't give up in the war until like 1970 something.
That's a big
Yeah.
part of their like war mentality is no surrender.
Wasn't there someone? I think I read something. Wasn't there someone that lived either in a jungle or something, still thinking that they're fighting the insurgency, like some shit like that? They just got discovered.
That's the
Like,
Japanese guy that I was
I
telling
can
you about.
imagine.
yeah.
I can
I
imagine you're
believe
out
it-
there for
I don't
years in the
remember
jungle.
all-
You know, no communication. When you finally get out, and you're still like, "Fuck all these Americans."
Where are the bullets? You know what I mean?
I don't remember what the whole entire premise was, like how many people, all the details. But it was a few people, and they were told to go hide in the jungle and survive for as long as they can, and at no
Never
cost
surrender. unless
Never surrender.
Right. Never surrender. And he believed his
Bro,
emperor would
they had to
never
bomb him twice.
ask him to surrender.
Twice. There was two. Like they,
Well, I mean,
these guys were ready to just
You
all
gotta
die.
understand that
You're
samurai.
on a secluded island with very little communications.
Yeah, you gotta
You're off the
understand the
grid.
samurai, like that whole harakiri culture, right? Like that's what it is. It's like, you know, until death, where like there's no way around it. And like if the master dies, you pretty much kill yourself, right? Like that's what it was back in the day, anyway. You know, with samurais and stuff like that. So
And Cillian Murphy is like the main guy, I guess, in the movie. And it was directed by Michael Bay. No, what is it?
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, right, because it's part of like.
He was also. This has to do with Insidious, right? Which he also
No.
directed.
No, it has nothing to do with
No,
Insidious.
I thought it did. I thought it was kind of like
No.
a sequel to
I
it.
believe Insidious is James Wan. So
Oh,
shout
was
out
it?
There
James
is a
Wan
new
out there.
Insidious come out.
Yeah. No, this is actually like about the real story around the Manhattan Project of like building these bombs and stuff like that.
interesting.
Evan, do you like MMA? Do you do any MMA, any training or anything? Do you do any
Yeah,
boxing?
let me pop some real quick. No,
any Thai boxing or something?
so I'm not a hardcore follow of MMA. I'll see whoever's watching. I will say my favorite MMA fighter is Israel out there. So and
Adesanya?
yeah, and then of course, so
That's Kevin's favorite.
he's yo. I just listen, bro. The sport's crazy, right? Like I watch it every now and then. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. They can knock you out real quick, so on and so forth. But I bang with it, bro. I bang with it. Masvidal is one of my favorites as well too. So shout out to
All
him.
right,
So,
so
you're definitely gonna indulge in the Zuck and Elon fight.
So
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so this
100%,
weekend,
bro.
this weekend we got into a little bit of a back and forth. Now, but before we get to that, this weekend, what's his name fought?
Which fight, man? We watched.
Do
Dragos Duplessis
Duplessis
and
fought and
Robert
he won.
Whitaker.
he
Second
won?
round knockout.
Yeah. And at the same time, which means that he's going to fight with Adesanya because he's
Yeah.
the second one in line.
So
And
basically,
Adesanya comes out and starts throwing the N-word around in pretty much the way it looked to me, trying to egg him on to say it. Because Duplessis has been talking a whole lot of shit. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the thing is, so basically, Dragos Duplessis is a South African fighter. He's still fighting out of South Africa, training there, and he was born and raised there, right? Then you have guys like Francis Ngannou, Israel Adesanya,
and then
and Kamaru, right?
Kamaru,
Was claiming
Usman,
like
mhm.
African Nigerian champions. You know what I mean? And this guy Drake has been talking a lot of shit, saying basically, "I'm going to be the first African champion. All these guys aren't really African, this and that." Because
well,
Israel,
Adesanya
that's a
grew up
bold
in
statement right
Australia.
there.
Israel grew up in
Australia,
in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Then you got like Kamaru's like basically American at this point, right? And then you have
Usman.
Francis. This is the one I call the biggest bullshit on because Francis was born and raised in Cameroon. Like,
Well, he
there's
escaped.
footage of still.
He
There's
escaped
footage.
mines, bro.
Yeah, there's footage of Francis as an adult already, like working in Cameroon still. So that's the one I really still call bullshit on. But anyways, this guy's talking a lot of shit, right? Dracus beats Rob because they were basically Robert Whitaker's the one guy that's basically been cleaning out the middleweight division and has beaten everybody in the top 10 except for Israel. Well, now except for Dracus as well. But he has already fought Israel twice and lost, and is the only guy that is like constantly just beating everybody else until now. This was the last fight for Rob to go for Israel one more time, and then Dracus, same thing. Like they're just basically a title contender shot. Was the fight was to determine. Dracus wins second round knockout. Crazy fight. did not expect that.
Shout out to Shayla.
Everybody expected Robert to win. Nobody gave a chance to Dricus. I didn't give a chance to Dricus. I really didn't. I really, really didn't. I watched his last fight, and I did not think he was up to par with someone like Robert Whitaker.
So Robert Whitaker was put down by Israel just as quickly as with Dracus. Like if you.
So the cool part was that was the first fight, but this last fight they had, the second one, was a lot closer. Went to decision. It was a lot. It was actually a really what people thought to be a really, really close fight. I don't remember watching it, but
and Duplessis put him out.
Yeah, Duplessis didn't put him out. Israel's also put him out.
So the question here is.
So I want to explain when he goes into the ring though. So after the fight happens, Israel's in the crowd, and Israel goes into the ring, and like. Right away, Dricus puffs up, and then Israel's like telling everybody, "Calm down. This is my African brother. This is my African brother." And then he starts and the moment after he said that, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna be chill about it, bro." The next sentence was like, "What's up, man? What's up? What's good? What's good, man?" And just kept going at it. And
then it's "I don't need 23andMe to tell where I'm from." Blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was basically getting him on.
Dricus is white,
right?
White complexion. So
no white complexion. He's straight Anglo-Saxon, bro. His last name is French, bro. I don't know how much.
He's from
full colonizer.
Africa, right?
Yeah, he is from the mountains of Caucasus. His family is definitely.
He's rice skinned. You know what I mean? But the whole point here is.
I think that's what made Israel set off like that. Is the fact that he's kind of disrespecting where he comes from, in a sense, saying you're not actually African.
But is he African though? If you grew up in New Zealand,
from what I heard, he was
technically.
From what I heard, he was still born in Nigeria. So,
but technically, is he
yes?
Is he fighting for Africa?
Technically, he's still born in Africa, right? So I don't know how else you want me to put it.
Well, see, my thing is Duplessis, even though he's rice-skinned. He's fighting.
Listen,
he grew up there.
Let me ask
he's
you
fighting
something.
there, training there, and he's fighting from there.
Duplessis has got maybe five. I think this is his 5 or 6 fight in UFC.
Yes,
bro. If he was champion, you think he's still gonna be fighting there? No, he's gonna go fight at a gym in America.
Well, probably you're right. You're probably right at 100% right. But as of right now,
he might be like Leon Edwards and stay in England, right? Or like Leon and stay in Africa. But I'm sure just like Francis and all these guys, they go to America or they go to these guys and they go to Australia
because conditions are much better, and I don't blame them for it. They should, because at the end of the day,
he's not an African champion anymore.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is my thing.
Me and him were already arguing about this on Saturday. It was good.
This is my thing. Those guys came to United States way before they became champions to fight for UFC. You know what I mean? They came to United States way before that. You know what I mean? And they were training and they're staying here and things like that. So to me, even though he's rice-skinned, but he's the only one literally fighting from Africa, the continent of Africa, as of right now. No one else is fighting from there.
I call bullshit on your.
But who else is fighting directly from there, right now? From continent of Africa.
I get what you're saying. He's actually living and training there.
Yes.
But doesn't mean that Izzy's not an African champ. Doesn't mean that Francis isn't an African champ. I don't know where Kamaru was born, so I'm not going to speak on that.
Because, it would be the same thing as you saying, well, Khabib is a Russian champ, even though he's fighting from Dagestan, right? They're all saying Dagestan. Dagestan is
It's a province
of Russia. Being a province of Russia, they're still saying he's fighting from Dagestan. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, when it comes up on the thing, it shows Dagestan, Russia.
Russia, correct. Dagestan, Russia, right? Because it's a province. So he's technically fighting out of Russia from a province of Dagestan, but he's from Dagestan. So no person from Moscow can say they're fighting from Dagestan, because they're not. They're fighting directly from Russia, and he's fighting from Dagestan. Same thing with Chechens, right? Like when the Chechens are fighting, they're saying they're fighting out of Russia. You know what I mean?
What's up, guys?
So I think it's just a technicality thing where I mean, in the way I look at this, I mean, on a technicality, Duplessis is right.
No, man, you're putting too much a specific term on it. You're saying that he's the only champion, he's not. But
if we're splitting hairs here,
I'm not splitting hairs.
You're not, but I am.
No, you're splitting hairs on something you shouldn't be.
What do you mean?
There's a reason he said I don't need a 23andMe to know where I come from.
Yeah, but
he's from Africa.
Would
now,
you
if
say
you take the
right?
white
Alex watched
man's
the fight
family?
with us.
that's the invaders coming in saying, "Hey, I'm the champion from your continent, even though we invaded it." Like, you know.
That's why I
well,
think-
first of all,
that's why I
he
think it
didn't
set him
invade
off.
shit. He didn't invade shit, and I doubt
But
his
his
parents
family
invaded.
did.
Hey,
Well,
Alex,
I doubt his parents did.
That's
or
how the
parents'
white
parents did.
people got to South Africa. Just
Alex,
so you know.
Arthur said he'd fight you when you come down to Florida.
I understand
Oh.
that. I understand that. But
Why you want to fight him?
as of
Why you
today,
want to fight me?
He said for fun. Okay.
For fun.
So
I got
as
gloves,
of
shin
today-
pads. We got the whole thing, bro.
as of today, you
what,
can't.
What we doing? Stand up? Is there rules?
But as of today, you cannot say
I'll show
that
you some
Duplessis
jujitsu before, don't worry.
somehow is complacent in all of that.
So
He's not.
hold
What does
on, so
Duplessis have to do with anything where his ancestors did?
what's the question here? When
Okay.
we have Israel versus this?
No,
this
so
group who's
they're
gonna win?
100% Dreykus. So his name is Dreykus Duplessis.
Okay.
100% Dreykus is fighting Israel next.
All right,
Right.
But the
So the
question
whole
here
question
is whether
is-
he's the only African.
So the thing is,
that's
right,
fighting
is
out of Africa.
Dreykus talks a lot of shit saying he's going to be the first African champion.
the first true king.
This first
Right.
true African champion.
champion, yes.
And Israel is saying, you're talking shit. I don't need a 23andMe to tell me where I'm from. You need a 23andMe to figure out where you're from, because you know you're not really from South Africa, and you're trying to say you are from my complexion and my ancestry tells me I am. So that's what I think. That's why, and that's why I was saying like Israel went in the cage and got really mad because this guy's talking a lot of shit.
Okay.
So who's your favorite? That fighter that always talks like, man, you hit hard. What's his name?
Oh, Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah, he's
so
fighting
you
this
think
month.
Kevin Holland could go and say, I'm an African champion?
No, he's not doing that.
Yeah, he's not doing that, but do you think he
He's
can
not
say that?
from Africa either.
What do you mean he's not?
He was born, I think he's from Chicago or something.
Wait,
I
so
don't
he
know.
was born from Chicago, but his ancestors came from Africa, right? Kind of.
I'm sure his parents were from here too.
No, his parents probably, yeah, but I'm talking about ancestors, in the times of really bad times
See,
of
now
United States
you're
history. Can he claim it to be an African champion?
No.
He can claim he's an African American champion.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Or
So
a
he can claim.
Black champion.
So he can claim as African American or black champion, and I agree with that, 100%. What you guys saying makes sense. Just like Israel Adesanya can claim African New Zealand champion or a black champion, but he cannot claim fully an African champion because
You're
he's not
splitting-
fighting
you're
from
splitting-
there.
You're splitting hairs.
Yes, of
Splitting
course I'm
hairs
splitting
hard.
hair, and I said that.
Hard. Like he wants five
He's got a
hairs
microscope and
out of the,
tweezers.
yeah,
He's
five
like,
hairs
Yeah,
out of
but
a
see,
single
this
pore.
is the point, Like, I think that whatever Israel did was uncalled for. But even though it's a good strategy to get him off his to get him all discombobulated, I think he did the correct thing coming out in the ring and saying that because he's hyping up the whole thing, right? Like the whole situation. He did it right to sell those tickets. That's what's gonna sell those tickets. He did the right thing. Although I do think Duplessis, on a technicality, he's right. Now, do I agree with him? Probably not. You know what I
But
mean?
you gotta look at how South Africa is. Like they just had apartheid, like not even too long ago.
Yeah.
That was abolished. Like it was racist as fuck there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you got a white boy
100%.
saying that I'm an
100%.
African champion.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's not a good look.
Well,
You're either tone deaf or ignorant.
well, but who's to say that he's a racist? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Just by
I didn't say he was
color-
racist.
okay.
No,
I
so,
said he was tone
see-
deaf or ignorant.
No, I don't.
Whoa.
So I think that him going and saying that these guys aren't African champions, yes, is very ignorant and stupid of him, right? But for him to say he's an African champion, I wouldn't say that's also wrong.
I'm not right.
Yeah,
like
right?
if he's
I
saying
could
I'm
agree
from
with that.
Africa, right? Like, but he's saying
to
that
put down
these
the
other
others.
people,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And what's the color of those people's skin?
Right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
No, yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, and I agree that Duplessis is in the wrong
Hey,
here.
Mickey, I don't know
He's
if
in
you
the
saw.
wrong here, even though
I
I'm splitting hair.
sent-
He's in the wrong here, 100%. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, I understand why he's doing that. He's doing this for the cloud. He's doing this to sell the tickets. He's doing all this for the show. I get it. I get why he's doing it, although he's wrong. But I don't know, man. I think boy's got a point. And bro, if he I saw so many memes. He's like, if he wins that championship and if he wins against Adesanya, they're like bunch of people are gonna give him the pass to say the N word as many times as he
I thought that shit
wants.
was funny when Adesanya was in the cage. Like, say it. You from Africa, huh? Say it.
But at the end of the day, I think, it is what it is, And
What do you
we'll
think? You
see.
think Dreykus has a chance against Israel? I don't think so.
I think Dreykus might be a bit slower than Izzy, but I think Dreykus might hit harder than Izzy. So it's going to be one of those things, because I don't know if he's going to out
That jab
wrestle
didn't
him,
look like a very hard jab, and it
and
put Rob down.
he went down.
Yeah.
He went down, and
Yeah.
Rob is not one of the easy ones to put down
No.
either. He's got a chin for
Yeah.
days. So I don't know if this was a mistake and he caught him,
Yeah.
or it was actually like a calculated move.
It could be one of those things that it's just one of it has many factors. Maybe bad weight cut, had his chin light. It could have been a lot of things.
But
know
you
what
have
I
to
mean?
remember that first punch came in and he stepped away because
Yeah,
he thought he's
so-
getting punched. And
So he
then
literally
attacked
hit him with a
again.
jab, right? Dreykus hit him with a jab and knew that Rob was about to throw an overhand and jabbed and shielded up and stepped back. And Dreykus said it in the interview, like
Yeah.
when I didn't see, in the moment I looked, he was already on the floor, like standing back up. And then I was kind of like, he said that in my mind, I knew that people criticized me about rushing, so I didn't rush. I made sure to stay calm, and he got the finish.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't think he has a chance against
Yeah.
Israel. No, I'm not gonna say he doesn't have a chance, right? Because it's MMA.
I think it's gonna
I
be
think
an
I would
interesting
put my.
fight.
I'm gonna say this. I would put my money on Israel. I would say that maybe it's like a 75-25 like
Chance, you think?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see.
I got Adesanya in 4 rounds. Let's
Yeah.
go.
4 rounds.
4 rounds. Let's
4
go.
rounds.
No, I think that if it. I think usually when I don't see, I don't know, they're bigger guys, so they can pull power and they have still that power in the later rounds. But sometimes I kind of just doubt the later round knockouts, right?
Yeah, because the huge body weight mass is gonna take a toll.
Yeah.
They're gonna be getting slower by round 4. I think that's what's gonna happen.
We'll
But
see.
Anyway, all right, Miggy, you wanna?
I'll pull up. I'm gonna pull
yeah,
up.
you wanna pull up those text messages
Real quick, I'm gonna pull up something else. I had just sent it in the Discord. So you guys saw the floods in Vermont?
Yes.
No,
You saw-
I did not. Fill me in or fill us in.
I just sent like a screenshot real quick. It's not really.
Hey yo, it's Evan. Justin Rosa saying hi.
Say again?
Justin Rosa saying hi.
Oh, hey.
There was this
Shout out to
flood.
Rosa. What's up, bro? What's up? Thank you for joining in on this right now.
So, catastrophic flood, swamp Vermont. It's bad.
Jesus.
Bad. They were saying basically just
Talking to Mike.
I'll leave that there for the. Basically, they were saying it was just as bad as when Irene came through, and that's how bad the floods are right
So
now over there
what?
in Vermont.
What flooded? A river? Or
I think it's just the amount of rain that came through.
or the
Yes,
lake.
river. Yeah.
it was a river. Okay.
Because Vermont is a really pretty state, and it's across from upstate New York, and they have that Lake Champlain right in between them. It's super cool to like cross it with a barge or whatever. Not barge, but like that boat that transports your car pretty much over. It's super cool to see like the difference between mountains. 'Cause on New York side, they're a little more peaky, like a lot more peaks, and then on Vermont side, a little more hilly. Like it's pretty cool.
So is this like the whole state got flooded, or is this just an area in Vermont that we're talking about here?
Let me see. I think it was a specific area.
Okay. With that note, we also have another thing with
I'll pull it up now. You talking about the Jonah?
Jonah Hill and his girl. So Jonah Hill,
Ex-girl.
ex-girl, yeah, Jonah Hill. Well, this
Oof,
a
big
little bit of
oof. Let me
story.
pull
My
this up.
understanding is that his ex-girl now is a surfer, and she was with him for about some time, and then they kind of broke up. It's been about a year because Jonah Hill is having another baby with another girl, and she waited until now to post. Pull up the other one.
So she busted out the receipts.
Busted out the receipts, but she waited until the girl gave birth. Yeah, that one. Until the girl gave birth. Okay, hey Miggy, this is your job now. Go ahead and read.
This is your job now.
Yeah, because Miggy is our resident read person.
Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself, it's kind of hard to read because the camera is kind of blocking it a little bit. To model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures.
Friendships with women who are in an unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Okay, so he sends pretty much this message out to her and she's coming out with the receipts and the entire internet basically jumped on him and said that he's controlling, he's jealous, this and that. What do you guys think?
That's a lot of messages.
Yeah, I'm just over explaining. Screenshots of the pictures that he doesn't like, I guess, on her Instagram. It's just constant. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where we are at or where you say you want to be. I respect your skill and your surfing. I respect how you want to present yourself. Is that it? Okay, it's just kind of like surfing. Respect how you present yourself. I respect that you're hot and beautiful, and I respect however you want to live. But I also respect myself and what I'm interested in my own life, and what I let into my heart and inner circle. So celebrate yourself and your life however you please, and shine bright. But I don't want to I don't want to have to deal with. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture, the contest, and that place because it deserves respect. Period. I have been more than patient, and then shit like this is still here. Fuck that contest. Fuck that places, and fuck not respecting me always in every situation without surf culture, or you don't get it. And you don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. Get it? I don't know if you get it or care or give a shit about that shit more than me, even after Dr. Stern has said it loud and clear. Dr. Stern is the couples therapist we're seeing once a week for about 4 months. All right, so he basically does not like her posting sexy bikini pics,
Thirst traps.
going on thirst traps, going on dates with a bunch of dudes, having those dudes around and things like that. So, and she posted this, and pretty much everyone started shunning him for being misogynist, for being
manipulative.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's like so. Yeah, I followed this a little bit when I was on Twitter, and yeah, that's so I see where she's coming from. Dead ass. I'll be honest with you. I see where she's coming from. At the same time, I see his argument as well too. Bro, it's crazy. I don't know. Like. I guess we're gonna lead into like, oh, where do we all lead into this whole type of argument, right?
So my question is, do you think that guys nowadays are not expected to have boundaries? Because he's saying, hey, listen, do what you want to do, except it's not for me. Like we had this conversation, but yet you continue to do this, right? So do you think, and by him saying that, he's being misogynistic or somehow being jealous or somehow being whatever it is that everyone is saying Joanna Hill is being?
I think I need a little more context here, right? Like, cause I wanna see the pictures that he's talking about and maybe complaining about.
Thirst traps, her in a bikini, her surfing, her doing her
I know,
thing.
but I want to see him. You know, there's gonna be a little more context there on, you know, maybe the way she's presenting herself, because it could just be like a basic bikini pic of her surfing, or it could be, like you said, leaning more towards like a thirst trap, right? I think that there could be a little more context there. Mickey, you think you could find us those?
I think I've seen these pictures, and
how bad are they?
It's not bad. It's just her in like a regular bikini, and she's just like out there surfing. There's a picture where she has a picture where she's walking into the beach and then looking into the horizon in a bikini. It's not that bad.
So the question here lies. Here's the question. Now, who are we to say what is his boundary? What should be a thirst trap and what not in his eyes?
I get that, but that's why I'm just gonna say like what I see, like, right, like how I would analyze this situation based on my views, right. I think that they're in such a high profile life that anytime they go to the beach, they're probably gonna take pictures of him with her anyways and get posted. Like her being out there in a bikini, I think is a little something extra for him. Now, another thing that seemed to be mentioned there was her commitment to the surfing. Sometimes people would rather commit to their career than the other person. Mm-hmm. And that's just a decision to be made, right? And then you just have to be okay with that or not okay with that. Clearly, he wasn't.
Well, I think here's my opinion on that. I think Joanna will Hill was kind of
She was a bitch for
thinking that he's
posting all
gonna
that, though.
change her because you met her and you knew the way she was, right? Number one, you had this conversation. Looks like not once, maybe twice or three times, and nothing has changed. And apparently, what happened? They broke up, and he moved on, and got another girl pregnant.
He got
and
mad skinny too.
Yeah, he got mad skinny and he got another girl pregnant. Now he's having a baby with another girl. So he's moved on and found a girl that's willing to stay within his boundaries. Now, what the point of this was for her to release these pictures?
That's why I said I think she's a bitch for doing this. What's going on? What is he talking shit? Is he talking shit on the other side? Then why did she go and release this?
You never heard anything from him, just besides his weight loss.
Yeah,
That's it.
the whole thing about her was she was respectful enough. She waited until this lady gave birth to show what kind of a misogynist Jonah Hill is.
Nah, this definitely seemed like some kind of attack. So why was she doing it? What was the incentive of her going and posting this stuff?
She's butthurt that he dumped her. I think that's what it is. She's just butthurt. He dumped her and had a baby with somebody else.
I wonder. There's got to be something else there that the media's got to know.
So when I was on Twitter, this was like last week that this all came out. I was on Twitter and I was just reading into this because it was on like my For You page. Twitter, I'm not happy that you guys did that, by the way.
Yeah, For You.
I want my own feed. I don't want that other shit. But anyways, I was reading through the comments and there was a lot of women going on and attacking Jonah Hill, saying that he was being manipulative. This is being a form of manipulation. He's being controlling.
Emotionally abusive.
Correct, right? And I was just like, I was looking at it. I was just like, all right, it's gonna sound misogynistic for me to say this because I'm a male and stuff like that. But I didn't see that he really did anything wrong. Now, granted, hold on. Let me get to the other point in a second. I didn't think he did anything wrong because he was being respectful. He was setting his boundaries and he was just laying down like, hey, I do support what you do, but me and you on that level, I just don't like it. Things of that nature, and maybe it ended out, amicably. That last screenshot with the text message, and before she started talking about the therapist and stuff for that, I was like, okay, then he kind of went off the rails, and he set himself up for her to give her more ammo for it to come out all this stuff.
Now, do you think...
I agree. I can agree with that.
Do you think we're putting more connotation on that? Because I think I kind of know why you're saying that because of that word "get it." Because the way, like, it could be "get it" or "hey, do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying?"
No, it's not just that one thing, right? It's just the way he framed the whole entire argument on that last post. Right. Like, I get what Evan's saying.
Yeah, that's like I feel like he was probably all in the right until that last post, and when he was kind of just because then it seemed like he was on the defensive and was attacking her and stuff.
My thing is, was it really all him just sending stuff, or did she delete a bunch of messages and then screenshot all the stuff he said? It's
hard to say because that's what we have right now, and I don't think he's come out and I think the only thing that maybe comes from that's all again from her side, him saying, hey, these are my boundaries, blah blah blah, because you can clearly tell whose phone is screenshotted, right? So to me, what it looks like is that you as a dude in 2023 cannot have boundaries. You cannot tell your girl, hey, listen, I don't like these bikini pictures, and that's what you want to do. That's fine, good for you, but we cannot work. You know what I mean? Because I don't like that, and I'm going to move on. And I don't think that's acceptable, and that's considered misogynistic, I think. Which is
because if you can't handle a bad bitch, don't have a bad bitch.
Well, it's not being a bad bitch, right? Like it's just that life that you're living. That's not a bad bitch.
I don't think that's her definition of being a bad bitch.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
To me, that's not a bad bitch. Bad bitch is, for me, definition of a bad bitch is that can raise children. That's a bad bitch.
Then why would you care about bikini pics?
Why would you care about?
How does that affect you?
Well, because that some guys perceive that as a for sale sign.
And so your insecurity is
nothing to do with insecurity.
It is insecurity because you think that she's advertising herself, and you will lose her.
Well, if that's what she's doing,
maybe she trains people in surfing. Maybe she needs to advertise herself. He advertises himself all the time in movies, like.
That's what I was trying to get at. Is that
men and women are not the same.
But they're so high profile, bro. Like she would be Jonah Hill's girlfriend. You think that when they go to the beach, you're not gonna take a picture of her in her bikini, or like the million times she's surfing anyways? when she does her surfing shit, they're not gonna take pictures of her. They are, bro. The pictures
But that's
are there.
somebody else taking a picture of her versus her taking those pictures in person.
But my part
what
is
he perceives to be thirst traps.
But they're not thirst traps until she's doing it for her surfing thing. Like, she needs to promote herself.
Profile.
Yeah.
Promote herself in
Right.
what?
Because she's surfing, bro. She needs to promote herself for sponsorships and all this stuff.
Advertisement. All
Yeah.
that
She's
shit.
also an instructor as well too, from
Yep.
what I've read. So.
But she's with Jonah Hill. Do you think she has any issues financially?
He's her girlfriend of how long? You think he's like paying for every single thing? Probably not.
I think so. I think he's
Probably
probably
not.
paying for stuff.
But no, man, I feel
Stuff,
like she's
not
just one
everything.
of those that she kind of wants her own career as well too.
No,
see
I
her
get
wrong.
that. I totally get that, right? But then after the first time, and if you don't like that kind of relation, why did you continue with him? Or same question to him. After the first
Why
time,
did
why did you continue
why
with
did
her?
he start this when this was already an established thing that happened? You're trying to come in and say that you're the victim, attacking someone for being someone how they've already
Well, I don't think he's
are.
attacking. I don't think he's attacking. He's just
You
saying, hey,
are
let's
because
pull
you
this out.
already knew this was here and you got into the relationship, right? And then you kept trying to change from there,
Well,
right?
here-
Because you didn't like it. So that's where the manipulation comes in.
Well, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? 100%. You can. You can. Nobody can say that not. Maybe he thought he's turning her into a housewife. There are things that he doesn't like, but he saw something in her that he's like, you know what?
Why is
I
she
think
a
a
hoe?
very
Because
important point is
she-
here is that you think you can turn a hoe into a housewife.
Well,
But
no,
like,
no, you can absolutely
bro,
do
if
that.
Jesus could save these hoes, what makes you think you can?
Well, Jesus, as a matter of fact, Jesus did save one of the hoes, right? Like he was with the hoe.
He saved one, and that was for marriage, buddy. One. Just
Well,
one.
I don't think they were married, but I think he was smashing her.
So where did marriage come from? Just bullshit?
Well, no, marriage came from, I think marriage was instituted by men for the men that were not as successful
agree,
to have a
Natalie.
wife. I think that's where the marriage came from. I think men created marriage for themselves.
See, these boundaries should have been established long before. in the
Yes, I agree
relationship,
with that.
Right.
I agree with that. He was being
And
a
if that-
simp by not, from the beginning, cutting her off.
I mean, simp, or and that's where the manipulation starts, right? Because you obviously had an agenda, but you got into a relationship because you thought you could change that other person,
Well,
and that's the problem. That's manipulation.
What did Todd say? I want to know.
she
She
said
said
that's
the same thing.
manipulation.
That's manipulation.
Yeah, now this is we're speculating that's what he tried to do.
It's hard not to speculate when he says these are my boundaries, but he's saying these in text that are after they broke up, like because they broke up.
Well, yeah, because he couldn't handle it anymore. He's like, listen, I'm done.
But
Because-
why is I can't handle this anymore? Because he had an issue that he
Correct.
knew he had an issue, and he tried to manipulate her into changing
Well,
so that he can accept her because he has issues.
well, it could have been this, right? This could have been the situation. Could have been that it was just smashing her in the beginning, and then he caught feelings after that. I don't think he got in a relationship with an idea to marry this girl. I think he was just smashing her, and then ended up getting caught in catching feelings, and it's like, listen, for my wife, this is a little bit unacceptable. If you're just a random girl I'm smashing, do whatever you got to do. But
I
for
don't
my
think
wife,
so.
this is unacceptable.
I don't think Jonah Hill went in there with Top J mentality.
Well, I don't know if it's a top J mentality or not, but I don't think Jonah Hill picked her. Like, I don't think Jonah Hill has problems getting to know girls or wifing one up.
I appreciate that, Justin.
What do you say?
He said, one day I hope to glow like Eddie.
No.
I guess I'm glowing today.
Yeah.
You are. Dog.
So
You
the point here is, what I'm trying to say is somehow, yeah, he caught feelings. That was his problem. He should have just been like red flag, red flag, red flag, recreational use box only. Never gave her a relationship. Like, he wifed her up, and now you like kind of made your bed, lay in it. I agree with that. You know what I mean?
So, did you guys see Elon? People going at Elon for what he said about aliens?
Well, he also said that let's have a demeasuring contest. Who's up?
Oh, right. So if you want to talk about that, so him and Zuckerberg are still going at each other. I showed a picture today to our guest last week. I think it was the week before. Jose, Emily's cousin, Pepito, of Zuckerberg training with Israel and Volkanovsky, and he goes, "No way." And I was like, "Bro, that's him." And he's like, "That's Photoshop." And I'm like, "Bro, this is like Stylebender's page. Like, look at it." And he's like, "Oh shit." Zuckerberg got a personality now. He was there with Israel laughing, with fucking like he's got like a 6-pack now.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, when you got money, you can do that, bro.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. Basically, Elon proposed like a dick measuring contest, and he called Mark a cuck.
Yeah, he did. He
Suck
did do
the
that.
cuck.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So, what I was saying was about Elon, that he basically came out and said that I have never seen any evidence to point towards aliens, and people are kind of like, motherfucker, you talking shit. Because all the stuff that's coming out already, like, from the government, like, them themselves kind of saying, like, we don't know what that was. That thing, yeah, that happened, and, yeah, we really don't know what it was.
Or it could be that they're trying to say,
I think they're just keeping him quiet. Like, he knows
or
he's
it
got to
could
keep
be-
as quiet as possible until they say he can talk.
Or it could be that they're doing some government experiments with the gigantic ass drones or gigantic ass unmanned aircraft, and they don't want to say this is what we're doing because that's going to shine light onto national security, technically, where your enemies
he
now
did
not going to
say-
know what you have.
That it's possible for them to be like dead civilizations out in space and stuff like that. So he was kind of pointing towards like there were aliens, but he's never seen any like evidence of actual aliens that are still like living. I guess is what he was.
So
pointing
you
at.
have to think about it. Look, they've done the research, right? Like they can unequivocally tell
have the
that
article, you
other
can look a little
planets they have the same type of what you call it, the periodic table as we do, right? Like after iron, things become a little bit different. Like the heavier atoms become different. But before iron, like they can say that this happens. So if this happens, then it's a good way to say that if there's other intelligent beings, they're going to be carbon based, just like us. There's a big chance that that's what's happening, right? And number two, like Einstein's laws of travel in space pretty much say that there's no point of traveling through space, right? So, you know what I mean? So, like, I think that's what Elon is talking about. No?
I think aliens are real.
No, it'd be selfish to think that they're not. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It'd
Like,
be
we're
kind of
the only
close-minded,
ones
right?
that made it? Like, that makes no sense.
yeah, no. Yeah, let's say aliens are
Like
real.
I can see what he's saying about past civilizations, because even on Earth we have evidence of past civilizations that have no records and shit like that.
Wasn't there another
But,
one that
like-
came about in South Africa, not South America, like less than a couple weeks ago about another civilization like they found out about? I feel, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I haven't heard about it.
Like,
but,
besides
like,
Mayans and all of them.
Yep.
just like we see on Earth with climate change, other planets might have been able to support Earth, and then maybe they had some atmospheric climate, fucking maybe an asteroid, like something changed, and it just destroyed whatever living or what we consider living.
So
what
what?
I want to know
beings.
is what type of freaky sex they have, and like
See, I think that if they can travel, to
Mickey's
us,
like,
then
how
they-
many holes?
How many holes? No, I think they're way beyond that. Like in the sense that they probably don't even have sex anymore. They just have like some kind of
they
Uh,
just look at each other and they're like,
fertilization and incubator system that they just have set up for the prime like setup. You know what I mean? To risk any kind of anything else happening. You know
So-
what I
do
mean?
you think they maybe have
For
male
medical
milking
reasons.
devices?
Male. Yeah,
Why,
probably.
Nicolito, you trying to be part of that?
I'm just trying to know.
He just, these are just his wonders. The
So
wonder
let
that
me
goes
me
on
ask you
in-
this:
in
if
Miguelito's
the
head.
if the incubators and all that shit is true, what do you think would happen with our civilization?
See, I think with us they would just wipe us out.
No.
I don't
I'm
think
saying
if they're at the point of space travel, there's no need for.
They're
us.
just like, oh, we found a new planet.
more food.
Let's kill it.
no.
More
So
food.
what I'm talking about, like I'm talking about the incubators, right? Like if on Earth somebody came out tomorrow and said we have incubators, we can make babies from scratch. You don't need to have a wife basically that's going to maintain the baby for 9 months. We can do this all
We
in this.
actually have that here.
But they still have to get an egg and a like a sperm
We have
from
to,
a man and
we
a
have
female,
to get
right?
some DM, but they're starting the science on creating embryos out of just like
Nothingness.
leftover DNA and shit like that.
So if that happens, what do you think is going to happen with actual humanity or relationships?
Then they'll try and sterilize everyone. So like we
No,
only
I
have
don't know if they're
babies
gonna
on
try to sterilize everyone. I think
at a certain point.
I
Because
think
they
there's
just wanna
gonna
have
be-
babies on a regular basis and that.
I think there's gonna be
overdue.
less nuclear families, which I don't think is very conducive for the
Nuclear
society.
families. What do you mean?
Yeah,
by that?
meaning husband and a wife and children, that like a nuclear family. I think there's gonna be
I thought you were talking about
less of those,
I had
and
no idea what he meant.
yeah, less of those, and which is really bad for the civilization overall, you know. So I don't know. I think if that happens, they're already predicting by year 2030.
I can see what you mean, like a diminishing culture continuing on, kind of
Well,
thing.
or it's gonna be like, I'm a woman, I want to have a child, or I'm a man, I want to have a child. I don't need somebody else. I'm just gonna go to the baby bank, make one, and this is mine now. You know, I don't need anyone else. I'm just gonna do this.
The baby bank.
Yeah, I mean that's
They're gonna build a bear's gonna get on it, build a baby.
yeah, build a baby pretty much. You know, because they're gonna build one that's gonna have X, Y, Z. Like I want him to play music really well, so you're gonna design your baby. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So there's like
I want
this,
this
Designer
fucker to be
babies
like,
can
I want
go
this
bad.
fucker to be like Beethoven.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of like reminds you of that Rick and Morty episode. You know, I don't know if y'all have watched Rick and Morty, but
Yeah.
essentially Morty he got like this sex robot from this planet that Rick bought him, and then he started fucking this sex robot. Next thing you know, like a little baby pop out, but it's
Yeah.
half him, half this baby.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way technology is moving out, I mean, sex bots are out there, right? And then AI technology as well too. So I mean,
Look,
it's a possibility,
A
right?
pocket pussy can already jerk me better than a woman.
Have you tried?
Yes. You
Oh
own
my
one? What type of person are you, dude?
you,
It's
you gotta
2023.
invest in that stuff. You gotta invest in that stuff.
You're doing manual
It's like
labor in
it's like Moods,
2023.
it's like Alex says, you don't beat your dick, you treat it nicely.
Yes, you make love to your dick.
McLovin.
So do you think it like so still do you think it's going to make things better, or you think it's going to make things worse, or you think it's gonna just like whatever?
Another
I feel
thing we'll
like
adapt
in
to.
the current economy, it's gonna be so goddamn expensive to where it's only gonna be a niche thing for the rich,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just gonna like, you know, I can be a ruthless billionaire, not have to actually be likable to get someone pregnant, and then just get an heir to take over everything built off just my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it could be some Lex Luthor shit, but
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it's gonna be anything like that the general populace is gonna be able to.
Well, eventually, I'm sure eventually, because you know Walkmans back in the day were super expensive. Now look at us, everyone walking around in their pocket with a Walkman, right? Like they
What a
can
wa-
talk
what
to.
a supercomputer.
Yeah, with a supercomputer.
Comparative to back then,
Comparatively,
when you had a
yeah.
walk.
Yeah, like it was took short 30 years, and the way internet's been globalized, and the way the science is, you know, everything is at your fingertips. At fingertips, I think it's just a geometric, whatchamacallit, the hockey stick. Like it's just
Yeah, it's multiplying within
multiplying
itself.
within itself, you know, and AI will be able to add and assist to that.
I forgot who was it that said it, but something about like if technology, because they were talking about like the percentage of technology advancing over time was something like 10, like it
Yeah.
slowed down, right?
Every
from that boom.
every week.
They were saying that even if it slowed down to 1% over that time, technology will still grow like stupendously so fast that like if like he thinks that he was saying basically he thinks that it's going to come to like a massive slowdown, which I think is what we're kind of starting to see after AI.
Well, you got to think about it. Like, what's going to be the next? Because the next like one invention was internet. Once the internet opened up, then the next invention that actually brought us closer, right? Like, was the cell phone, and specifically, it's all contributed to iPhone, right?
I would say social media.
Social media, well, cell phone, and then social media right after
Yeah,
that.
right.
Right. So what's the next thing? I'm predicting it's going to be the supercomputers, right? Like quantum computers.
I think it's AI.
AI?
Into AI technology. They already got TikToks where you can have a Drake feature when it's not really Drake. So I think AI is gonna be the next thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There
and
was this
the
girl
way,
today that I saw that she had a fake picture of her pregnant. And I was like, holy crap, she's pregnant. And then she was like, I'm just joking. It's just
an AI
AI.
photo.
I was like, holy.
You know what I think another one is that people are sleeping on because they're so skeptical about it? Neuralink. When that becomes something as common as AI, like you can just freaking go and get your new Neuralink as like you can go get your new iPhone. I think that's another thing that's going to be a big boom because just the amount of possibilities with it when it comes to medicine, right? Like, you know, helping the people that have like paralyzed or messed up nerves or for ability and stuff like that. And then also like the seamlessness that will come of life. Think about it, bro. Just think about it. Like,
can you imagine the people that don't elect that? How much they're gonna fall behind, and it's gonna be almost like someone else is playing but different set of rules.
Bro, it's gonna be like I'm
But
on like
there's speculation that's founded though, because it comes from a DARPA project to where you implant a chip into a soldier's brain so you can disconnect that pain receptor, so they can go stronger, faster, not give their shot.
oof.
But you know, that had side effects, so they sold it to the public, and then now we have Neuralink.
Oof. Sounds interesting then. We're gonna have to see how that goes.
And our boy Elon has to be brushing shoulders with some people that are from DARPA. He's sending them rockets up in space, right? So who better to do this than him?
And when you got all those government funded Starlink satellites going up, you just got mass connection on a population if they can afford a chip in their brain.
But I just think about the seamlessness that would come to our lives. No need for a cell phone. No need for a computer.
It'd be cool as fuck. I
No
agree.
need for TVs.
I think I'll be one of those, like, how like grandpas right now, they're like, I don't want a cell phone because I don't get it. I'll be one of those people like, I don't want a Neuralink. I don't get it. Like, I don't want
No
this.
need. Ready? With
No, I
think
wasn't
of it
ready.
This way. Think of it this way. If they integrate it with Tesla, there would even be a possibility that when you don't want to use autonomous driving, you still wouldn't need a steering wheel. You would just sit there, and with your brain, be able to control the car.
Yeah, but that has to go through the Department of Transportation approval. Do you think that's gonna happen?
If they can get autonomous, I mean, you already have people driving; they're just using their hands.
There's already a price tag on autonomous driving. Wonder if a Neuralink's gonna have a price tag too.
Well,
Oof.
well,
That's gonna be
the reason
expensive.
the reason
It's like,
Tesla
yeah, the Tesla $60,000, the Neuralink edition is $100. Huh? What?
well, no, the whole thing with Tesla is like you can't. It's not really truly autonomous driving. There's only, I think, one, maybe two companies that do it, and Mercedes was the first one that got a truly autonomous driving where you don't have to have your
it's
hands
not
on the
that
steering wheel.
they have the ability to do it. Is that that's the only when they were the first. Mercedes was the first one to receive like the actual certification to be allowed
Yes.
to do full autonomous driving.
Yeah, because Elon applied, and he's like, "That's a dumb technology. I'm not going to put that in the car." But that's what DOD wants. Not DOD, DOT, Department of Transportation.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be one of those grandpas
You-
that's gonna be like, I don't
I
want a
still got-
Neuralink.
I still got Zuckerberg against Elon. What do you guys think?
He's trading with Izzy.
Bro, he's training with a bunch of people.
Training with Izzy, bro.
Yeah.
GSP and Lex have been training with Elon though. Not have been. They trained one day. All right, they did like a day of training with Elon. But Lex Friedman also trained with Mark as well, and then Mark also trained with God damn it, he trained with Volk in Israel and someone else too. The other day I saw him training with.
I think people are picking
John
alliances.
John Jones said he would train Zuckerberg. It's a lot of guys coming out and saying they would train these guys for their MMA fight.
Yeah, I think people are picking alliances. I think this is what's happening.
If Elon sues Zuck, that's
for
that
Threads.
shit's probably not gonna happen. Yeah,
Why not?
because you're literally suing this man. You're gonna go fight him in a ring.
Why not?
Oh, I was about to say.
They would
No
say
one's
maybe-
PR team's gonna let that happen.
I
They would
think
say
No
we
one's
can-
lawyer is gonna let that happen.
We
I
can
think
we
they
can
do
let
it.
this
I
decide
think
in the
they
ring.
would.
Whoever wins the case.
Nah, I don't think they'll do
Nah,
that.
whoever wins solves the homeless problem.
With the money, with the charity gonna go
Yep.
towards? Because they are talking about how it's all gonna go towards charity, right? Like all the money for it. That's what I've heard.
There's not like contracts or anything ready.
Yeah, right. But this is what they were.
But
saying,
everyone's speculating that it's gonna be
a charity fund thing.
money because they got way too much money to actually make money.
Yeah, makes sense.
What do you think the purse on this is gonna be? Like, what do you think the pay-per-view is gonna generate on this?
A lot.
I think everyone's.
You
Gonna
You
I
think
watch
it's
it.
gonna be in a B?
I think it will definitely. Maybe it might double Connor in Mayweather.
Double?
I think it might double it.
I think it's gonna be in the billions, bro. Or it's gonna be at least close to a billion on a pay-per-view.
I don't know.
That's
'Cause
far. That's a far stretch.
You got your people that will pay for it, but then you're gonna have a lot that just want to either wait for the highlights of the fight later,
Yes.
or
They'll watch it the next day.
do
on their
that
torrent.
content thingy. Yeah.
But see, think about it. A billion is only 10 million people paying $100 to have the pay-per-view. 10 million people paying $100.
Oh, they'll make $1 billion? Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Well, I thought you were saying they'll get like that many buys. I was like,
Oh no,
man.
pay-per-view will make $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they
I
make $1
could
billion
see it,
on
maybe.
other pay-per-views, on a lot of other pay-per-views.
I don't
It's
think
just
they
that
made
the
a
amount
billion
of
on
people they have
Conor
to
and-
pay and the amount of advertising to be paid, it takes a lot of that money.
What do you mean?
Like other boxing events have probably hit that probably hit that number.
You
10
think
million,
so?
10 million
Go-
pay-per-view buys?
Look
Let's
up, Miggy. Look up, Miggy. Has any pay-per-view ever broken $1 billion? Because I don't think so, man. I think it's definitely going to be in $1 billion, if not more. 10 million people ain't shit. In the United States, we got 400 million. You know what I mean? And that's just United States. They probably put it at $50 and get still money.
I
What you
think. I mean, it's going to depend on really how they're marketing this. You know, because first of all, you have a lot of people that don't care for Elon, a lot of people that don't care
Can I see your
for
vape, Mickey?
Zuck, but really, they're gonna be able to have to market this properly to where it can get to that $1 billion mark.
Surprisingly, I just looked up the stats on what combat sports like bouts have the most pay-per-view buys. Manny Pacquiao in Mayweather's fight actually got more than Conor McGregor in Mayweather's fight.
What was it?
4.6 million buys.
Million buys. At how much?
I think
60
back
or
in those
$100?
were like 70 or $100. Yeah.
So let's say if it's at $100, 4.6 million, you said? So you're looking at 460 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's double. I'm thinking double. Because not a lot of people.
It was $90.
Yeah. So at $100, it'd be 4.
Oh, but if you wanted to watch it in HD, it was a $10 subcharge, so $100. It was $100.
So
everybody was paying that $100.
yeah, because like Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, that's like people that follow boxing. Zuck and Elon is gonna be people that don't give a shit about combat sports. That's still gonna want to watch it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's gonna bring in a total different demographic to this sport.
I mean, yes and no, because you still see the Jake Pauls. Their fights aren't bringing in all their numbers, you know, and they have popular people, you know. They have watchers from other things that don't.
But you have
Subscribe to
ready.
fighting.
I'm sorry, but you have the guys that are like little YouTube stars, right? And the guy, like he likes to say, like the Disney kid that's gonna beat you up, right? And like these combat sport legends like Anderson Silva and stuff. But this is Elon Musk.
Yeah,
right? The whole
and
world knows
Zuckerberg.
Elon and Mark Zuckerberg. I think they're gonna top that Pacquiao and Mayweather.
I mean,
So if Elon wins, can he say he's the only one fighting out of South Africa champion?
I don't think he's gonna get a belt for this bout. But I think Mark Zuckerberg will probably choke him or grab a limb or something, man. With that jiu-jitsu training, he's probably gonna go for that.
shit, they're rich enough they can make their own belt.
Yeah, right. And then after, especially since he's like gone and done
Made out of
tournaments.
rubies, like just the whole belt is ruby.
So
one
we've talked
big-
about this in the past, but just in case you don't know, like Mark Zuckerberg's been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and like he's been competing in tournaments. He's actually won in one of the tournaments before. I think he got gold and silver before. Like I think that he'll use that like instinct he already has probably got built in a little bit into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of like actually being in that combat mode of like going all at it and use that to his advantage. Put him to the
yes,
floor.
but what would you say? He's got a year leg on top of Elon? 6 months to a year?
I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like it's gonna have to be a catch weight no matter what.
I think that they're gonna do they're gonna have to make Elon cut some kind of weight. We'll see.
Elon ain't cutting weight, bro. He's 50-some years old, bro. There's no way he's cutting weight.
Yeah, or they'll just fucking let him go at it. We'll see. I don't know if I would like that on if I was Mark. I'd be like, fuck that. He's got 50 pounds on me. Fuck my jiu-jitsu.
No, I mean, jiu-jitsu is designed for that, right? Like, if
I
they're
get it,
doing
but-
jiu-jitsu, but if
Yeah,
you're
the moment
not
he
even
starts raining
punches and
strikes,
kicks,
yeah, you pull guard and he can just punch you right there, and that 50 pounds will make a big difference when he starts stacking you up and elbowing you.
The thing with Elon is also a massive troll as well too. So the question
oh yeah,
should
he's
arise
one of the
is
biggest ones too.
whether he actually takes this thing serious. You know, because
Dana White says they're both dead serious. That's what Dana White says.
but that's Dana
And
White.
Dana
bro.
White's good
He's
at
promoting
promotions.
Yeah. So.
Oh, did you see the whole thing talking about that? So, Donnie was at the fights at the last one, right? And if y'all remember,
I think Dracus went and said hi to him right after.
Dracus went to say hi to him, but
after the Rob knockout.
but so what's his name? Commentator.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has said in the past that he's a big baby when he talks. And Donnie went out there and shook his hand.
Who?
Donnie.
To Joe?
To Joe.
Yeah.
He specifically got up, went out there to Joe, shook his hand, and you could clearly say that he was telling him compliments. Because Joe clearly, you can, like, if you try to read the lips, he's saying thank you, thank you, thank you, like a couple of times. So do you think he's going to get that interview coming up with Joe Rogan?
I think he's.
Do you think Donnie's pulling a stunt where
I think
where
Joe
he's gonna
Rogan
start
has
going to
made this very
podcasts?
clear before that when it comes to guys in like top politics, he tries to kind of like stay away from it until maybe after the fact that shit dies down. Like for example, I don't think he did the interview with Bernie until after he ran. I'm not sure. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Do you think that?
I don't think.
What do you think, Alex?
I think that if Joe Rogan wanted that interview, I think he could have already got it. It's Joe Rogan.
I mean, it's obviously it's a power play.
Yes.
Donnie
yes.
doesn't like people that talk shit about him.
Yes.
You know? Where I wouldn't say he dogs him, but every now and then, you know,
Oh,
He'll throw. He'll
has-
throw.
he
a stone.
definitely does.
he'll throw it. He'll throw him under there a little bit, but like
It's a play for
that's
Donnie
the
to
thing.
look good.
That's the thing. Are you also going to talk shit to a dude that even though he might be what you call, you know, a piece of shit or like weak and a baby, when he's surrounded by fucking Secret Service people?
Right.
Because that's his backup.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, I think you're right. I think that was a power play, and I do think maybe he's kind of like, you know, since Newsom has been going around into podcasts and talking about on podcasts or shows, and I think Donnie's setting that up because probably someone in his camp told him like you need to do a little more of a.
I mean, he's got to have a better public image, is the thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot is going down, and also Chris Christie is dogging him in the fucking media.
Chris Christie is dogging him, but Chris Christie's been that's Chris Christie's MO. He's been dogging everyone anytime there's a like that's what he does.
I mean, he did until he lost in the first election against
Yes.
Trump, and then he was like, "Give me that butthole."
Yeah. Well, it's always like it's just business, right? Like that famous, hey, it's just business, no hard feelings, right? It's kind of like lawyers and the state attorneys, right? Like they kind of shake hands afterwards and they go grab lunch together after the case is kind of done. You know what I mean?
So, I know we wanted to cut it a little short today. I think we're good for today, right, boys? It's a little over an hour and a half.
Well, anyway, so far, thanks guys for coming in. Hey, hit that like button on
Let
your
me,
way out,
give a
please.
shout out real quick
Bob
to
the
everybody in
Builder.
the chat. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you,
Natalie.
Justin came in. Justin,
Shayla.
Rosas as well. Shayla, my girlfriend Emily, Arthur, my father. I saw, and that was it. Thank you guys for joining us today.
And
Everybody else who else, don't be a ghost watcher. Hit at least the like button, subscribe, comment in there, let us know who's here so we can give you a shout out. You guys have a good night. Thank you very
then
much.
Episode number 59 coming up this
Thank
Thursday.
you, thank you, Evan, for joining us, brother. I really
Appreciate it.
appreciate
Appreciate you
it.
guys having
Anything
me
you
on
want to
here.
say before we cut it?
Oh man, you know, it was this was dope. But again, as like guys, I mentioned, this is my first time doing this.
Oh, shit, well, let's do it
thank
again.
you for popping my cherry. Let's run it back again.
Yeah, we'll have you on another time, bro.
We'll have more
I
stuff.
hope you enjoyed it.
Whatever you want to talk about. If you have something on in your chest, you want to let it out.
Oh, what's
bring
up,
that in.
Calvin? What's up, brother? Thank you.
As of
I
right now,
appreciate it.
I don't have much going on. I'll be real with y'all, but you know, stay on the tune, right? I'm manifesting greatness, and you're gonna see me again.
We'll
Let's
stay
put it
tuned.
that
We'd
way,
love
right?
to hear about it in the future, brother. Thank you for coming on. All right, guys. Episode 58, closing out.